So we already know from game theory that people do whatever's in their own best interest. But how do we get them to do what's in our interest? If a rational person is going to do whatever is in their own best interest, how do we align our interests with their interests so that we can achieve our goal? I think that's where reward systems and incentives come in. So you can make their best interests better by giving them an incentive. So I know some artists that do this really well. They might say something like, hey, if you guys post my new single, I'll follow you. Half the time they don't even follow anybody. But hey, there goes an incentive. Their fan base and the people that pay attention to them already like the music, but they may just not have an incentive of taking that action of actually posting the music or sharing the music. So you can give them just that little extra incentive like, boom, I'll follow you or I'll repost you or something like that. This is why you may have a challenge. You know, certain people they may have a dance challenge or a video challenge. It's that extra incentive to get involved, to take action with the music or the product versus just consuming it. You know, I see certain producers drop an instrumental album and they'll say like, whoever downloads the instrumental album and raps to a certain beat, they'll get a free beat from me. Or whoever raps on this beat will get $100 or something like that. Again, giving people those reward systems or an incentive to take action. That helps build up a fan base of people who care. Not only do they already like the content, not only do they already think it's the best content for their time and attention, but they have that extra little incentive to actually take action with the content, to actually do something with the content versus just consuming it. And it doesn't always have to be something super obvious where you literally tell them, hey, go do this and you'll get this reward. Sometimes the incentive is to be the first person in your social group to know that this artist dropped a new single, or to be able to brag and be the first person amongst your friends to say, I went and saw this movie. You got to think about your fan base and think about what's going to incentivize them to do something that's both in your interest and in their best interest. A lot of people just want to be the first to comment on a post, or they want their comment to be seen. So you could go live and read out the comments. And that's going to incentivize some people to comment more just so you can read out their comment, just so they know that a whole bunch of people saw their comment or they were the first to comment on the post. So you always got to think from the audience's perspective, what is their incentive to watch this content or to consume this content or to engage with this content? I feel like you can't just put out content and hope for the best. You have to have a little bit of a game plan, a little bit of a strategy in order to make your content more effective. I think because so many people are used to being the consumer that it's hard to flip that and think from the producer's perspective and think, what are the incentives that are going to make people like this product? What are the incentives that are being used on me to make me like the things that I like? I think some of the biggest fools are people that think that they're not being manipulated. Everybody's being bombarded with messages at all times. That doesn't necessarily have to be bad. I think you just have to be aware of the messages that you're receiving and how they're influencing you. But you would be a fool to think that you're not being targeted with messages and that those messages are having some sort of effect on the choices that you make. There can be positive and negative incentives, and there can be positive and negative messages and marketing. You're going to be most effective when you're aware of the messages that you're putting out and the rewards and incentives that you're giving your fan base in order to get them to take action. So you don't have to be on the internet complaining like, oh man, it don't cost nothing to support me, or y'all my friends, why don't y'all support? Instead, think, what can I do to force people to support me? What are the incentives and rewards I can give people in order to get them to participate in my campaign? What do they want? What do they find interesting? Begging online and asking people for support is not going to do it. Making the best product and then making the best content and incentivizing people to engage with that content is what's going to do it. So if you got any value from this, like and subscribe, drop me some comments and let me know. My name is Dumas. I make beats. And if you want to work, hit me up. Dumas! Dumas!